those of you that don't know me, my name is Lorraine, and I have a little YouTube channel called The Patchwork Quilt. What do I do on the Patchwork Quilt? Well, I do all kinds of stuff. I do crafting, and I do furniture makeovers, and I do canning and gardening, just all the stuff, all the Mod Podge of things that make this a patchwork. Today, we are going to be making these cute little Scarecrow Picks that I saw on an Etsy shop. Now, they wanted, it's like $21.95 for 3 of these. To me, I don't know about you, but for me, that's a lot of money to spend on a fall decoration that I'm going to probably put out for a month, maybe 2 months out of the year. And then for the rest of the year, they're going to be sitting in a box waiting on next year, if I decide to use them next year. So I thought, I can make that. Why not just go ahead and make them, and then I'll have them and I won't have to spend $21.95. So let's go ahead and decide what we need for supplies. The first thing that you're going to need, of course, is some scissors. You are going to need a glue gun. You can sew these if you want to, but not everybody knows how to sew, so we're going to make these with a glue gun. Of course, if you do want to sell them or anything like that, you probably do want to sew them because they're just going to be better made. I don't think a glue gun makes anything that is long lasting, but if you sew them, they will last you a good long while. You also need some fabric for his head. This is a tablecloth that I got from the Goodwill. I just cut it up into strips, and this one I coffee stained. You need some fabric for his hat. This is, again, something that I got at a thrift store, and it's a cute little check green pattern. You need a piece of orange felt for his nose, some batting so that you can stuff them. You need some raffia for his hair. You need some jute cord, a stick, of course, which I cut from a tree outside, and you need a marker. This happens to be a fabric marker, but you can use any kind of Sharpie marker. You just want to make sure it's fine point. This one actually has 2 sides. One of these is a thick point, and then the other one is a fine point marker. I think that's about all we need. Hoping I'm not missing anything. So we will go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is make his head. And I'm going to say that this fabric that I have is probably about 8 inches, but I'll put the measurements down in the description. I gotta cut me a straight line because this line is not straight here, or as straight a line as I can cut, because I can't cut a straight line. Alright, now I'm going to make his head probably, I'm going to say about 2.5 to 3 inches across. So again, I'll put the measurements down below. You just cut a strip of fabric about 3 inches, and I'm not making it perfect. This is, look, this is not perfect. I didn't really take the time to make sure that everything was absolutely straight, and that's fine because you're going to glue it and flip it over, and you're not going to see all these imperfections. So you want to put a bead of hot glue on the edge, and you want to make sure that the side you want facing out is on the inside because you're going to be flipping this out. So I'm going to put some hot glue. Here on both sides, want a bead of hot glue. And we are going to fold this in half. Make sure you get it in half because that's kind of important. I'm going to fold this in half, and we're going to let that dry a little bit. So now we have a piece of fabric that is folded in half, and my glue is drying. Did I give you the measurements? Probably not. So the measurements on this, and it's not exact, is, I'm going to say that my strip of cloth was probably about 8 inches long and 2.5 to 3 inches wide. Like I said, it's not perfect. This is not supposed to be perfect. This is a home craft. Alright, now what we're going to do, since our glue is dried, is we're going to flip it. Before you flip it, cut off these 2 edges here. So you want to cut off on your fold side, you want to just cut off the points on each end. And then you're going to flip it inside out, possibly. So that the side that you want to make his face on is facing out. This takes a little bit of time. This is actually going to be a little smaller than the other one I made, which is fine. The measurements are really up to you. You can make them as big or small as you want to. Let's just be a little cute one. A cute little one. Oh, that's not good. Popped out my glue on that side. So I'm gonna, this glue that I have is not the best glue. I'm gonna put some more glue along that fold and fold it back in together. Ooh, it's hot. That's why they call it hot glue. It's hot. Alright, so now we've got this, and I don't like that it's not the same size as the other one, but we're going to go with it. Okay, now, before you stuff this, you want to draw his face on and put his nose on, because it is a lot easier to draw on this fabric if it's not stuffed. So we're going to put his nose on first, and I'm going to just take a little corner of this and cut a little triangle. I like his nose to be kind of long. So now I have a little triangle of orange felt, and I'm gonna chop the edges a little bit to make it a little bit more unique and not just a triangle. And we are going to glue that onto our face. So I'm going to glue it right here. You can do it upside down, or you can do it this way, however you want to do it. This is however you want to do it. And instead of putting the glue on the orange felt, I'm going to put it on my face. I'm just going to make a line of glue here. And then stick down my carrot nose. Again, it's hot. It's very hot. I have some extra on the side I'm going to wipe off because I put too much glue on my little carrot face. And there you have that, and I'm going to let that dry for a minute before I put on my face markings. The good thing about hot glue is it dries pretty quick. Alright, so with my fine tip marker, I'm going to draw on his face. And I kind of make his eyes like a teardrop shape. It kind of makes him look sad, but it's cute. It's really cute. And then you want to put some eyebrows and some little wrinkles. And then you want to do his mouth under his nose, which I just draw a line, a squiggly line, and then I put like a railroad track. Look how cute that is. That is the cutest thing. Alright, now you can leave it like that, or you can put like thread marks around his nose, which is what I did with this one. See, I've got little thread marks around his nose, so it looks like it is sewed on. Of course, if you're actually sewing this, you would have to hand sew these on. So now we have his little nose and his little face. I think we need to make his eyes just a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. Well, I made him a little darker. I didn't make him a little bigger. There is such thing as too much of a good thing. Alright, so now we have our little scarecrow face, and we are going to stuff this. So you want to get your batting, and you don't want to overstuff it, but you want to get it pretty stuffed. You want to stuff that up in there. Get it good and stuffed. Let me use my scissors to make sure I get it up there, because my fingers aren't long enough. You do want to make sure you get his head pretty stuffed. The very top of his head. And you know what? I forgot one other thing that you're going to need is a rubber band. Alright, so I've got it pretty stacked up. You can see the thickness of it. It's probably about an inch thick, maybe. Alright, now I'm going to go get my rubber band. I will be right back. Okay, I have my rubber band. I've got my head stuffed up. The next thing that I'm going to do is get a little bit of raffia out of here. You don't need a whole lot, you just need a little bit, because it's going to make it look like the head is stuffed with raffia instead of batting. And we're going to cut the edges so that it's not alright. Now we have our raffia, and I have raffia all over my table, and we are going to cut our stick also. So I've got my stick and I've got my raffia. Now what I'm going to do with this raffia is stuff it up in here under the stuffing, fluff it out a little bit, and then I'm going to put my stick in behind it, flip it over, put my stick in to where it goes probably about halfway up my head. My raffia is falling out. Put your stick in first. You'd think I would have realized that. Put your stick in first. Bunch up your raffia. Kind of twist that a little bit so it stays together in a bunch. Stick that up in the bottom, and then you are going to put your rubber band around it. Probably about right under where his mouth is. Definitely want to see his mouth. Alright, so now we have this. And it's a little cockeyed. Now we've got that. Now we have to do this hat. Ooh, I've got raffia everywhere. Move this to the side. Alright, for his hat, since this guy is a little bit smaller than this guy, it's so cute. I'm going to make his hat a little bit smaller. So basically all I did for his hat was I cut a circle out of my cloth, and then I cut another strip, folded it in half just like I did the head, and put it all together. So we're going to make a circle, and I'm going to tell you what, I didn't really measure anything. And if you want to measure it, you're more than welcome to, and I will put a basic pattern in the description box. But I'm going to cut just a little piece of my fabric, and then I'm going to cut the best circle I can out of it. It might not be perfect, but again, how many perfect scarecrows have you ever seen? They're a lot cuter if they're not perfect. Look, that's a pretty good circle for somebody who just freehanded it. Alright, so this is going to be our hat. Look how cute. Okay. This is the cutest thing. I can't help it. Alright, so what do you want to do with your hat? Your brim, I think that's what they call it. You take your hat brim and then fold it in half, and then you're going to cut a little piece out of the center, because that's where our top is going to go into. So here's what I've got. Got this little piece cut out of the center, and it is not perfect, but it is going to go like here. See that? And then our hat top is going to go over the top here. So now I'm going to cut another strip. I'm going to find a spot I haven't cut in yet. This poor thing it's a mess. I've cut it all to pieces. Alright. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut another strip for my hat. For my bill. Not my bill, the bill is this part. The top part of the hat. So we've got this strip that I cut. On this one we are not going to flip it. So we are going to add some glue to the edges just like we did the head. I'm going to make this a little straighter because, like I said, I'm not going to flip this. And I don't want that big bubble. So here is our hat piece. And we're going to add some glue. Now with the hat piece, we want to leave about a finger space on each side that does not have any glue on it. It's very important. Got a finger space. Again, I'm going to fold this. Ooh, I burnt myself. I'm going to fold this in half and press it down. And then we have another strip of fabric. And then if you look at the end, you see I've got a flap. You need that flap. Why do you need that flap? I'll show you in a minute why you need that flap. Alright, and this fabric that I have, I can fray. So I'm going to fray it a little bit on the edges, just to make them look a little rattier. I got my fabric frayed. Now, you have to stuff your hat with just a little bit of stuffing. Little bit of stuffing up in your hat, like a soul. Oh my gracious. I'll use a stick and get it up in there. My fingers do not fit up in these little tiny holes. Let's do it a little bit at a time. Maybe that'll help. There it goes. Ooh. I need just a little bit more for the bottom. A little bit more stuffing for the bottom. Alright, so now you've got your hat stuffed, and we're going to take this. Y'all, what did I do with my bottom part? Oh, there it is. I lost it for a second. This is going to go into the bottom here, and then this. A little bit more. I need a little bit more. Make it 2 finger spaces. This is going to go in here, into that hole, and we are going to add some glue onto the back side of our flaps. And press it down to the bill of your hat. Like that. So glue on the other side, on the back side of your flap, and then press it down to your hat bill. Oh, that is so hot. And don't burn yourself. Do not burn yourself. So now we have our hat. How cute is that hat? And it is just about ready to go on his head. Look how cute that is. I'm telling you, I love these. These are so cute. Raffia. Alright, so you're going to pull your wad of raffia out. Depending on how fairy you want your scarecrow. You want it to stick out from the sides of your hat. So make sure that you have a longer piece than your hat is wide, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I really don't think I need that much. I'm gonna do about half of it. And then I twist it just a little bit to keep it together. And then we are going to hot glue this on the bottom of our hat like that. So take your hat and flip it over and put some hot glue in the center like that, where your opening is, and then stick your raffia down in your center like that. So now we have a hat with hair. Like this. How cute is that? Alright, we're going to put a little bit more hair in the front. Just because. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this side too. I don't want the hair in the front to be too much. I just need a little bit. Dig up all these spare pieces and hold them together. Now you want to fan out in the front. You want to kind of fan it out. So fan it out like this. Decide which side of your hat you want the front to be. I'm thinking I want the smaller end to be in the front. So we are going to hot glue it right here. Again, put some more hot glue in the center. Like that. Make sure your raffia is fanned out. And then stick it. Don't put your fingers in the hot glue. It is hot. Hence the term hot glue. Okay, sorry, I had a little interruption. Now we've got our hat made. We've got our scarecrow head made. Now we are going to put the two together. And guess how we're going to do that? We're going to hot glue them. So, more hot glue in the center of our hat. And we're going to put that right there. And you want to hold it on for a little bit so it doesn't fall off. And your glue dries. Ta-da! Got some hair in his eyes. I just can't get over how cute these are. Alright, now you've got your hat on and you've got your body put together. Now, to cover up the seams on our hat and our rubber band, we are going to use some jute cord, or you can use a piece of fabric if you want to. You can take this little fabric and you can cut you a strip and you can tie it around his little neck like this. Kind of makes him look a little bit more country. And I like the jute cord for the hat. I'm not going to use fabric for the hat, but if you want to, you can use fabric on the bottom. So, first thing we want to do for our hat, and I know we're putting a lot of glue on our hat. We're going to put a little line of hot glue on that seam. And set our jute cord down in there. And cut you, I'm going to say it's about a foot, and wrap that around it, around the base of your hat. You don't want to wrap it too tight, but you don't want it to be loose and falling off. And you're going to have to add just a little dot of glue to the end so that it stays. Every time you see me close my eyes, like I've burnt myself. Alright, now we've got our hat, and for the neck, we're not going to glue it, we're just going to cut us a piece. We're going to wrap it around a couple times and tie it. I like to leave a little string at the edge and then just wrap it. And tie you a knot. Make it a double knot. And then cut both of your sides kind of even. Voila! Isn't that so cute? I love this. This is the cutest thing. Now, what do you do with these? Well, you can stick them into a flower arrangement. You can stick them into a tree. Just kind of depends on how you want it. Or you can, you know, just, I don't know, you can just make the head by itself and hang it from some garland. I don't know. But these are so cute, and I thought I would go ahead and show you how to make them so you can make some for yourself. Look. I love these. These are the cutest things. If you wanted to, you could probably also add like a little flower embellishment up here on his hat. You can add something here. You can put a hang tag on it, however you want to do it. But now you have the basics, and I will put the measurements in the description box. If you want measurements, I didn't use any measurements. I just kind of cut it and went with it. So thank you so much for making these with me today. I hope to see you back next time. I'm thinking next time I'm going to make some little block pumpkins. So we'll see how that goes.